He sat with a bunch of...
Sure, it's the most holy, under his father. And basically, even though so when you look at this, he's trying to show us how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. The father is an authority. We are his children. Yet we also learn to have authority, especially when we express and have a choice over this word and how we speak this word. So we have to learn how to live as we speak this word. And it isn't that easy. We all know that. We all fall on our butt. We're supposed to get up. Ask the Father, forgive me, through Yeshua. Thank the Father for allowing you to be able to speak unto him and pray unto him. Trust the Father, and even though, the Son was given all power, to do all things in his Father's name, he never got a big head. He never stepped out of his place.
Right.
So you always say, you can say a child, but a man, but a child toward his father. Never try to be above him or disrespect him, and never try to be his total equal, But when I look at that, it is a very deep meaning. We probably get a lot more out of it. That's what I got so far.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
Galatians chapter 4 and verse 1. Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differs nothing from a servant, though he be owner of all, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father. Even so, we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world. But when the fullness of the time was come, Yahweh sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. And because you are sons, Yahweh has sent forth the Spirit of his Son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father. Wherefore you are no more a servant, and if a son, then an heir. Howbeit then, when you knew not Yahweh, you did service unto them which by nature are no gods. But now, after that you have known Elohim, or rather are known of Elohim, how turn you again to the weak and beggarly elements, or unto you desire again to be in bondage? You observe days and months and times and years. I am afraid of you, lest I have bestowed upon you labor in vain.
All right, so if we get into verse 10 where it says you observe days and months and times and years, you got to look where he's talking to Galatians. He's not talking about, well, you keeping a Sabbath day and holy days and the 7 years. No, he's talking about what the Romans do. They had 360 days. And they had a God for every single day and a God for the year, just like the Chinese, the year of the rat, the year of this. This is what he's talking about. So this is what you did. You went back to serving these idols. He's talking about these beggarly elements, these service unto them which by nature are no gods. He's talking about idol worship. He's not talking about making a God out the Sabbath day. We wouldn't keep the Sabbath day. We selling on the Sabbath. We doing everything. But what they'll try to do is write it in a way to make you believe like, oh, you transgressing by trying to keep Yahweh's holy days, his Moadim. Yet in the book, you see all the disciples keeping the Moadim, the holy days, the appointed times. And you see Yahshua himself, even under the threat of death, showing up on the holy days. And when they looking to kill him, stand up and read. So we got to put this in perspective and don't let this King James English version fool you, and look into the spirit of what he's trying to say. And read the beginning and after and see what he's talking about. And also look, where is he talking and who is he talking to? Go ahead.
Verse 12, Brethren, I beseech you, be as I am, for I am as you are. You have not injured me at all. You know how through infirmity of the flesh, and they weren't able to reject him.
Well, I will tell you this. A lot of times when we preach and we teach, it looked like we talking this. But you attest me to that. A lot of that is this. So that's something to consider.
Indeed. Verse 16, Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? They zealously affect you, but not well. Yea, they would exclude you that you might affect them. But it is good to be zealously affected always, and a good thing. And not only when I am present with you.
So we have to keep in mind when we got servants that have a zeal, have an incredible zeal for something, we got to be careful with that. Especially when it's in a good thing. but it could be done in a wrong way. And some of us that have a little bit more experience and maybe a little bit more time doing things, you know, we got to be careful how we deal with people and their zeal, not to put out their fire, not to put out their spirit or put out their candle, but gently guide and direct and build off of that, because that's a good thing if it's zeal in a good thing. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Verse 18, but good to be zealously affected always in a good thing, and not only when I am present with you. My little children, of whom I travail in birth again until Mashiach be formed in you, I desire to be present with you now, and to change my voice, for I stand in doubt of you. Tell me, you that desire to be under the law, do you not hear the law? For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman was by promise. Which things are an allegory, for these are the 2 covenants. The one from the Mount Sinai, which genders to bondage, which is Agar.
Which is the animals. Do this, and if you don't do this, kill something. Why are we killing something? You just kill it if you do something. But okay, bondage. You are still tied to that sin, because killing that animal did not remove that sin off of your heart. It's edged with a diamond tip. Go ahead.
Verse 25, for this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia.
Where's Mount Sinai?
Arabia.
At least at the time of the New Testament, it was in Arabia. So how it end up in Egypt?
I don't know.
Catherine? I don't know. Go ahead.
Jabal lost. In Arabia, and answers to Jerusalem, which now is in bondage with her children.
Still in bondage.
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all.
But Jerusalem is freed from that bondage. What does Jerusalem mean again? What, city of peace or something like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Jerusalem, which is above this carnal thinking, is free. It's free because it's now worshiping in spirit and truth. It's not just keeping the commandments. It's focusing on the spirit of that commandment and making sure they're walking in alignment the same way Yahshua did. He gave us that perfect example of how to walk in perfect harmony of spirit and in truth. Now, when you get that together and you bring those people together, that is now Jerusalem, which is the mother of us all. And that's where we get the understanding that the mother is Jerusalem, which is the people, the assembly, and your father, which is call no man your father, for one above is your father, which is Yahweh. Your father is Yah. Respect, honor your father and your mother is your assembly. So when you deal with the people around you, whether it's a man, woman, child, whatever, understanding that this is Jerusalem, this is the people, would you treat your mother like that? Would you not, hey, well, mama, be careful, mom, here, I got this. Mm-hmm. Would you not say, mom, all right, let me just keep my mouth shut because I don't want to offend her. We don't want to do that. We do that for our mamas. But now if we looked at each other and say, man, this is Jerusalem right here. This is freedom. This is the mother of us all. We'd have more respect for our assembly and our people around us. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Verse 27, for it is written, rejoice you barren that bear not, break forth and cry you that travail not, for the desolate has many more children than she which has a husband.
For the desolate has many more children than she which has a husband. Because the one who does not have children, she doesn't have to, you know what I'm saying, deal with the husband and the things and the children, all the things of the house. So all of the people are her children, whether it's a child or whether it's another adult. She's open and she's doing her servitude. She's free. She's not bound to her house, because the woman that has the child and her husband, she's bound to that house first. Then whatever left over is for everybody. Go ahead.
Verse 28, now we, brethren, as Yitzchak, are the children of promise. But as then, he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit, even so it is now.
That's why, suffer yourself to be called a Christian. Oh, you spiritual person. You real commandment keeper. You believer. You idol worshiper. You worshiping a man. Where clearly we're not worshiping that man. We pray through Yahshua because we understand that he is the word. You want to get your prayers heard, you got to keep the word. So they've been persecuting from the very beginning. The one who understood spiritually, because he probably took counsel from his father, Adam, went and offered the firstlings of his flocks and the fat thereof, the best he had. And the one who was of the earth, Cain, he killed his brother. He persecuted him because he was upset that he was being accepted for being not only truth, but in spirit as well. Because Cain made an offering, but it wasn't in spirit.
Verse 30. Nevertheless, what says the scripture? Cast out the bondwoman and her son, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir with the son of the free woman. So then, brethren, we are not children of the bondwoman, but of the free.
All right. Let's go to the conclusion. Let's go to Philippians chapter 3. It's another few books down. 2 books down. Philippians chapter 3.
Philippians chapter 3 and verse 1. Finally, my brethren, rejoice in Yahweh. To write the same things to you, to me indeed is not grievous, but for you it is safe. Beware of dogs. Beware of evil workers. Beware of the concision.
The concision. So what are these dogs? When he's saying dogs, he called that woman, basically it's not meat to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. He called her a dog. Does that mean a dog is just a Gentile? What do you take from that as far as dogs?
A reprobate, people with ulterior motives.
A beast, basically.
And, in their zeal, which you would be talking about the concision, the way they respond to those who think that Yahshua would be the Mashiach was so negative to the point of death.
Overzealous. Right.
It was negative to the point of death. So then it's like your unspiritual mind wasn't able to accept that Yahshua was who he was, but it also aroused in you your carnality.
Right. Because you can look at it like this. It's the same thing now. When we've had finished football practice, the end of the practice, now it's time to run sprints. We dead tired. And here go this dude, this little running back that he trying to impress the coach because the coach hate him for no reason. He running his behind off, trying to stay in shape, trying to be the best he can. The rest of the team, but what you doing? You making us look bad because we ain't trying to run this hard. We ain't trying to be faster and better and stronger. We comfortable where we are. Man, we got to kill this dude.
Wow.
So here come Yahshua showing that, I'm a man. I didn't come here floating around. I'm a regular man just like you. It's a special crafted vessel, don't get me wrong, but a regular flesh and blood individual housing the same spirit that you can house. And I'm listening to that because I prioritize the Father over my own flesh, over the idol I've created in my heart. Indeed. Oh, we got to kill this dude. Ain't nobody can keep these commandments. There's no way you can keep 613 commandments.
For we are the circumcision which worship Yahweh in the spirit and rejoice in Mashiach Yahshua and have no confidence in the flesh.
I have no confidence in my flesh whatsoever, to the point where people think I'm a broken record. Because every time you ask me something, if there's a way, my mind is commandments, scripture, righteousness, prophets, judgment. It's all going that way. So when you hear me, he's just going to say this. Everything ain't about the Bible. Yes, it is. Everything is about this word. You got to figure out how to apply it. That's how we supposed to do, because our mind is thinking of that. But because previous times where we were being blessed by the adversary, the devil, we had confidence in the flesh. I'm good. I can make the right decision. I don't need the word. My heart is going to guide me.
Verse 4, though I might also have confidence in the flesh, if any other man think that he has whereof he might trust in the flesh, I more. Circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Yasharal of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee.
Okay, again, did he say a Hebrew Israelite? Or did he say a Christian of the tribe of Benjamin? This brother is telling you, you can't say nothing to me, bro. I'm a Hebrew of Hebrews, and I keep all the law. So don't come to me with this law thing. I'm trying to take it past that. That's not what makes me special. Because I was doing that, and what was he doing when he was just that? He's persecuting those that was worshiping in spirit and in truth. Go ahead.
Verse 6, concerning zeal, persecuting the assembly, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless. But what things were gained to me, I counted those lost for Mashiach. Yea, doubtless I count all things but lost for the excellency of the knowledge of Mashiach Yahshua, my master, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Mashiach.
Man, if I could, Yah's will, if one day I can live my life that way, where everything is counted as dog doo-doo in comparison to the Christ. Lust, food, money, power, fame, all those different things, success, cars, women. Oh, if that's nothing to me. If I could truly have that in my heart, man, if before I die, praise Yah. That's the goal.
Hallelujah. Well, you know how y'all usually take us up on these offers that we be making.
Yeah, he whoop you down and he get you loss of all things. So I've suffered damn near loss of all things. So I don't want to get to the point where it's loss of all things. So that's why we can speak those things in existence. But you got to be careful what you ask for.
Not that there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that
you make sure you're ready to accept the chastening of the Most High.
Yeah.
And that's what,
if that's what's necessary.
Exactly. Because what we like to do is we want all the glory and honor. We want the goodness, but we ain't willing to deal with that severity. But unfortunately, the severity is what we listen to because we are sottish people. So eventually, we can become half stupid and not full stupid, where he don't have to put us through that. Like you said, if necessary. But unfortunately, for some lessons, it's necessary. For some people.
So the best thing would be like, y'all do it at your pace.
Exactly. I'm not. Because
sometimes we talking higher than we do.
Not trying. That's why I said before I die.
Yeah.
Not tomorrow. Because then I'd have to be like this brother, lose everything like Job damn near in one day.
You're going blind today.
and be blind. I can't even see. I don't feel nothing around me. Did I lose everything, including my sight?
Wow, yo.
Oh, man.
Verse 8. Yea, doubtless I count all things but loss for the excellency of Mashiach.
Verse 10.
Verse 10. Did we read verse 9? And being found in him, not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Mashiach, the righteousness which is of Yahweh by faith, that I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death, if by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead. Not as though I had already attained, neither were already perfect, but I follow after, if that I may apprehend that for which also I am apprehended of Mashiach Yahshua. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of Yahweh in Mashiach Yahshua.
All right, we can stop right there. So I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. Forgetting as far as not being forgetting as far as doing the same thing again, but not allowing that to reign in us anymore. And looking forward and say, look, that person is dead, is behind. I'm heading forward towards the kingdom. I used to be heading backwards towards the lake of fire. Now I'm going this way. And I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Elohim in Yahshua HaMashiach, which is righteousness, which is his word, which is perfection, which we'll never reach. But the prize is, you gave me all that you had. You're clean. It's gone. That's what we're striving for. You're not going to get that with just truth. The truth is this. Well, what's the spirit behind it? It don't matter. I did the truth. What did you really? So that's all we're going to do today. Shalom, Brother Melvin Shelley. Good to see you. And halal, yeah, definitely. All praises to the Most High. Any last questions or comments before we close in prayer? All right. Let's go ahead and end in prayer. All brothers remove their head coverings. All sisters pray with their heads covered. And we face the east towards Yah.